Welcome to Your Future Starts Now, the go-to podcast for extraordinary women who are ready to step into their next chapter with authentic confidence. I'm your host, Gia Lacqua, empowerment coach, motivational speaker, children's book author, and girl mom. Whether you're a corporate powerhouse or an entrepreneur, this show is designed for you. Your Future Starts Now is more than just a podcast. It's a movement towards rewriting the rules of success for high-achieving women. Are you ready to get unstuck and step into your next chapter? If so, you're exactly where you need to be. Your future starts now. Welcome to Your Future Starts Now. I'm your host, Gia Lacqua. Thanks for joining us on today's episode. Today, we're unpacking a topic that's really critical for anyone who is looking to break free from the self-imposed limitations. So we are going to explore on today's episode the 3 biggest lies you tell yourself that are keeping you stuck. These lies can hold you back from achieving your true potential, and they keep you playing small. So it's time to debunk them. Let's dive right in. The first lie we often tell ourselves, and this is one of my favorites because I see it so often, is I don't have time. And this is a classic excuse that so many of us use to avoid pursuing our goals or making changes in our lives. And we don't actually see it for what it is. We don't see it as an excuse, but it is. I just don't have the time. So let's break this down. When we say we don't have the time, what we're really saying is that it's not a priority. Now, we all know that time is a precious resource that we all have in equal measure, but it's really about how we choose to allocate that time that makes the difference. So think about it. If something is truly important to you, you'll find a way to make time for it. And the next time you find yourself using the time excuse, I want you to try this. Instead of saying, I don't have the time to fill in the blank, work out, eat healthy, read that book, I want you to say, it's not a priority for me. And sit with that for a minute. Working out is not a priority for me. Eating healthy is not a priority for me. Reading that book that I bought is not a priority for me. And let that settle, and then decide how you want to move forward. The important thing is to really identify your top priorities and schedule dedicated time for them. So the things that are important to you, you know you will have time for in your schedule. And I don't mean this on a day-to-day basis. I want to zoom out and look at this more on a weekly, monthly, yearly basis. So recognized as high-achieving women, we have many competing priorities. Time constraints are real. I am not denying that. And there are going to be days where you have to make sacrifices. There are going to be days where you're going to have to trade off one thing for another, right? If you have a sick child who's at home, you're working from home, managing the best you can, you may not have time to work out that day. You may not have time to go to yoga that day or spend time reading your book that day. And that's okay. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about holistically. When we think about your week, your month, your year, how are you allocating time to the things that are important to you? And so the most important thing to keep in mind here is time management starts with priority management. So instead of managing your time, I would say prioritize what matters most and then build your schedule around that. The second lie we often tell ourselves is, I have to do it all. And this lie is another common one that stems from a perfectionist mindset, sometimes a need for control, but often is a sense of having something to prove. It's the belief that you must handle everything on your own and do it perfectly, or else you're failing. The reality is that's just not
true. And it's not really possible either, even though we tell ourselves that it is. And it's not that black and white. It's not we have to do everything on our own and do it perfectly or we're a failure, right? There's shades of gray. So believing that you have to do it all on your own, as we know, leads to burnout, it leads to stress, and ultimately diminished effectiveness. And also, as we know from experience, it strains your physical and mental health. It prevents you from focusing on the things that really matter to you. And when you spread yourself too thin, you're compromising the quality of your efforts across the board. So, for instance, if you're a working mom, you're juggling a career, family, you might feel pressure to excel in both areas without any support. So, we have to think about, how do we share that load? How do we delegate tasks at work? How do we ask family members for help at home, or hire a babysitter to give yourself some much needed downtime? And these can be hard for some people, but by letting go of the need to do it all, you free up the space for what truly matters. And then you're able to really focus on doing those things well. And the important thing to keep in mind here is it's really about quality over quantity. The third lie I'm going to talk about in today's episode is a big one, and it's the "I'm not good enough" lie. I see it so often in the clients that I work with. This lie is rooted in self-doubt and typically a fear of failure that keeps us playing small. It's that voice in your head that tells you you're not smart enough, you're not talented enough, you're not deserving enough to achieve your dreams. I'm just not good enough. And this kind of negative self-talk can be incredibly limiting in so many areas of your life, personally and professionally. It prevents you from taking risks and trying new things, putting yourself out there, and going for what you deserve. And so you convince yourself that you need more experience, you need more skills, you need more confidence before you can take that next step. But here's the truth. You are enough. Your worth is not determined by your accomplishments or the approval of others. It's inherent and unwavering. So to combat this lie, practice self-compassion, affirm your strengths, write down your accomplishments, no matter how small, celebrate them, and really remind yourself of them regularly. Post them to your mirror in your bathroom or on the door of your closet. Surround yourself by supportive people who uplift and encourage you. Your network is really important and who you spend time with. And most importantly, take action. I think sometimes we can become so paralyzed by the fear that we are afraid to even take that first small step. But the reality is that small step is going to lead you to the next step and then the next step. And so each step you take towards your goals builds confidence and reinforces your belief in yourself. So there you have it. The 3 biggest lies that you tell yourself that are keeping you stuck. I don't have the time. I have to do it all. And I'm not good enough. And by recognizing these lies for what they are, you can begin to challenge and change them, which ultimately will free yourself to pursue your goals with confidence and clarity. And remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about being authentic and true to yourself. The reality is you have the power to rewrite your story and to create a life that aligns with your values and your aspirations. I hope you found this episode helpful. I want to thank you for joining me today on Your Future Starts Now. If you did find this episode helpful, please share it with someone who might benefit from it. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode, rate, and leave a review. Feel free to visit my website at gialacqua.com and follow me on Instagram at gialacqua. Until next time, your next chapter is waiting. Take care.
That concludes another empowering episode of Your Future Starts Now. Before we wrap up, I want to thank this incredible community of high-achieving women. Your energy, resilience, and commitment to growth are the driving force behind what we do. If you enjoyed today's episode, please rate it, leave a review, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Your feedback fuels our mission to empower high-achieving women just like you. And of course, share Your Future Starts Now with the extraordinary women in your life who are also on a journey of healing and empowerment. Connect with us on social media, share your thoughts, let us know what topics you'd like to explore in future episodes. Stay connected on Instagram at Gia Lacqua. I encourage you to carry the energy of this conversation into your day and keep on supporting the incredible women around you. Until next time, remember, your next chapter is waiting.